what, Charlie? I think he's right, dude. Only a couple of jabronis come out here without skates on. I gotta do this thing in skates, man. You know, work up a routine, really jazz the crowd.
You know, can I stop you, though?
Yeah.
You keep using this word jaBROni, and it's awesome.
First of all, iconic. I didn't know people still use the word jaBROni. The last time I've heard that, I think, was 1990. It was a tremendous throwback.
I never stopped using it.
You've been using it ever since?
Oh, yeah. What?
Yeah,
And then everyone said jaBROni.
What is that? The future of radio, you jabronis.
jaBROnis. Cool word.
Hey, jaBROni, show some class.
She's right, Andy. You're being a jaBROni.
jaBROni, JABRONI, ABC. Oh, it doesn't matter how you spell jaBROni.
We don't believe you jabronis. Nah. We don't believe you jabronis. Nah. We don't believe you jabronis. I get it lit like a.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the jaBROnis. And it's that weekend. It's the weekend we all been waiting for. Football is beginning. Fantasy football is beginning. All of the pay-per-views are out of the way. 8 pay-per-view. What was it? In 8 days, we had 3 pay-per-views. It's all over. And still sitting behind me.
Still, right?
That jaBROni World Championship, somehow, some way, it's still here. Holding on to it till at least Fastlane, I believe, is our next premium live event. But I'm Topher McCann. He is Mike Butler. There's also, which is something that this was an ongoing motif that we did. You were like our tournament guy, and there is yet again, there is another tournament going on. Do you have any updates on it or any info about what this tournament even is? I believe it's a world title eliminator tournament.
Oh, the Grand Slam tournament, John.
Yes. What is this going to be for? Is this facing MJF?
Yes, it is. That Grand Slam. No, that's the Grand Slam. Yeah, Grand Slam. Yes. Sounds like to me, and I don't have my headset ready, so Coach is gonna have to sit this one out. It sounds to me like they're I don't know, maybe running with this Roderick Strong stuff. Now, I'm saying this after not knowing if he won or not on Wednesday. So,
spoilers? I haven't seen any spoilers for. Well, I think Collision's going to be live tonight. I think Rampage was taped. That was the last night.
Yeah, I know, but Roddy had his tournament match on Wednesday, and I don't know if he won or lost.
Oh yeah, he did wrestle stuff. I have it. We have it up here somewhere. At some point, I did have Dynamite on for a little bit, but there was something else going on that night as well, in which I was watching. Was it the Phillies? Maybe it might have been the Phillies, possibly.
Probably.
But this always happens. So as soon as we basically get done recording last week. Probably like an hour and a half later, I'm literally over your house and get a text message from you. You went inside real quick, and CM Punk was terminated. In which,
man, we haven't talked about this, have we?
No. So yeah, we were. I mean,
we haven't with the masses.
The scrapped idea because I literally ended the episode like, yeah, he'll probably be there Sunday night or whatever. So I'd like to strike that from the record. That
should cost you the jaBROni World Championship, really.
I was thinking dollars and cents, but I mean, it seemed we had a whole thing come out. Collision was that night, so then we had the Tony Khan come out and talk to the live crowd. That was like in 2 parts all over the X universe, and then he actually had a minute and change statement at the beginning of the show. Saying that he feared for his life. He's never felt that in like 30 years of wrestling. And so, because there was that report with the monitors and everything. So it seems like all of that was legit, but
let's talk about that statement.
It seemed like Phil wanted to kill Tony
Almost
Khan.
killed him. I tend not to believe that. Now, I wasn't there. You know, everyone's going to have their opinions. This is just mine. I wasn't there. but kind of sounds like Tony's being a little bit of a bitch. I don't know. Obviously, Tony can't fight. I get it. But I don't think Punk was going to do anything life-threatening.
Yeah, it all just is.
And if he was doing something life-threatening, then we should have heard about how Tony Khan at least got a swing or two in. Was what, you're not going to defend yourself if your life's being threatened? I don't know. Just sounds a little over-exaggerated to me. Sounds like he put that out there just to make sure nobody else signed CM Punk.
He was asked about it at the press conference, and his eyes did kind of like the idea just like went through his head, and it was kind of like one of those, fuck, what if, shit. He's like remembering Cody debuting at like WrestleMania and like, oh God. So, I mean, we let the rumors now begin. The stories start coming out from Alvarez and Meltzer about meetings that could have happened and then didn't happen. To something just came out recently about the Young Bucks that if there was 6 months with no incidents, then they would be willing to meet with CM Punk.
That statement pisses me off because he was gone for a year, man. Like, you need to fucking squash that shit then. And it's not defending him from, not trying to defend him from starting shit with Jungle Boy, but don't act like you were willing to meet with the motherfucker after he said that he's tried to reach out and stuff. I don't want to fucking hear that bullshit either. Like, they're just trying to save face, and their AEW geeks will fucking follow that.
Just top to bottom, everything was handled the wrong way.
Terrible.
Stuff should have been settled. I mean, he should have been shut up during the whole Colt Cabana. It shouldn't even have gotten to the Hangman thing, but again, him sitting there all this time ago, nodding along with CM Punk as he literally rips the people that he chose to be EVPs of the company, and then nodding his head, and just from there, something had to be done that didn't, and it was just putting a Band-Aid on something that needed stitches, and that's what happens. I mean, finally he had this all could have been avoided again, but unfortunately, it's going to lead to potential big business maybe. So the first rumor came out that during his time off there and the Bucks and Omega re-signed with AEW, that Punk had interest to return to WWE at the Rumble last year and would have feuded with the man who would have tossed him out, which would have been Kevin Owens.
Banger.
I mean, we would have had
Banger.
Punk and Banger. Yeah, I mean, it could have all. Instead, we had the run with the storyline with them all in the Bloodline and winning the tag titles, which, I mean, they would have probably just put an end to that because they kind of extended that way longer throughout the winter time. They could have just cut that out with this, but that was apparently there was maybe not again, this is all rumors now, and then all of the clips come out of Rollins saying he was a cancer to Nick Hausman. I think SummerSlam, I think it was like last year he said that. We had the clip of Roman getting interviewed saying about Punk. He doesn't like him personally, but with wrestling fans, with the stories and 10, 15 some years, that he would, for the money and for the stories there, he's like, I don't like him, but he would welcome him back. Money-wise, it would be very interesting to bring him back. But again, it's really, we got to remember what happened there. And then what happened at AEW.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, I mean, I guess it goes down to, and there's all the bad, like with Triple H, and it seems like Vince isn't involved as much. So if Triple H wanted to give it a shot, I guess Nick Khan would have the final say.
I feel like may bode well for CM Punk because Nick Khan, he's all about the money.
And that Endeavor deal kicks in this week.
And that's another one. Does CM Punk still have ties to people in the UFC? Can he get that swing? I don't know. He wasn't successful in the UFC, so I don't know how deep his reach goes. But the WWE is a business. CM Punk is a businessman. AEW, I don't see it as a business. WWE, sure, people don't like them. But I feel like there's a better chance of that not being a factor because there is a lot more money to be made in matches in WWE with CM Punk than there was in AEW. I think it's a split that will benefit all parties. AEW, CM Punk, and potentially WWE.
And I think that at this point they would reach a deal where, with the history with him with WWE and AEW, that there would be like somewhere in there that if some of this stuff happens, that it's going to get nipped immediately and money won't be guaranteed or whatever. So I feel like there would be a fine print in the contract for
like give him a 1-year prove it deal or something, like definitely see if he's there to just fucking work.
So
I do believe that Punk once, like that first promo he cut on Rampage when he came back about putting over everybody. Well, I'm paraphrasing. I believe he wants to help. It's just I don't think he was in the right situation over there.
Yeah, we had to tell him when he was telling lies, and he was not telling lies.
He never told a lie.
He came right back. I mean, that return promo, I remember going, I loved it. I thought he killed it. I thought he came with the title and everything. I thought even though he didn't reveal what was in there, it's like you knew it was in there.
You're talking about Collision. I'm talking about Rampage when he first came back.
Yeah, but still, I'm just, I just think there's so many stories to tell with him. If you get him back, he's not a spring chicken. We all know this, but who is anymore? So, we'll let again, we never thought he was going to return to wrestling, and he returned to AEW. So, just
never say never, as the Beebs would say.
Imagine the return to WWE, and then, all right, you reach a deal. How do you do it? Is it a Rumble? Is it a
There's a lot of openings. I don't know. Here's the thing. I think, in my opinion, you need to put Punk in a main event at WrestleMania.
And he wanted that deal.
I just don't think this year's WrestleMania there's room for it. I think it's still Cody's Mania. You're not going to put the World Heavyweight title in the main event as long as Roman Reigns is there with a title. You don't necessarily have to have the women's main event night one, but I feel like you'll get a bunch of fucking backlash if you don't, especially since you didn't do that this year or the year before even, because they had Austin and Owens close out. So I think you might start to get backlash from that. So I think it's best for all parties to have him, and I hate to even do this, you could do it the night after Mania on Raw, but I feel like it would have the most effect, and I would hate to say this because it would kind of ruin the Cody moment, but once Cody, if and when he wins the title, which he may or may not, I don't know, you can have Punk come out at the end of WrestleMania 40 night 2 and have a little face down. Place will erupt, and you'll sell motherfucking tickets if they weren't already sold out for the Raw after. So that's
and again, we're fantasy booking here, but think
or the SmackDown after.
How disappointed people would be if Roman somehow retained at WrestleMania, but after the match,
then you bring him out. Yeah, I think all would be forgiven at that
and
point.
it kind of,
I feel like WWE fans would kind of like contradict themselves, like, "Oh, it's Cody's moment, man," and then Punk
it's
come out and be like, "Ah, Punk is gonna be Roman." Yeah,
it's gonna be like, yeah, when's his moment? And then is it all of a sudden that would automatically then jump? I feel like Punk in front. So I don't know if they would do that. You have to remember, I mean, even though he's been doing it a lot, he did it for Cody. I mean, there is a chance. I mean, there is that World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That's just
that story of him with this. I mean, anyone with Roman or Seth, there's a story there from all the way back to their NXT and coming up and being henchmen and all the trash talk and everything. That's one of the top programs you could do. And again, this is all just us fantasy booking an idea, but Rollins, I feel like, has done so much to lose to newer people coming in, but also this is why he has this title right now. So
yeah, but I feel like he has to lose that to Gunther. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the problem. Like this WrestleMania right now, I don't think he's coming back at Survivor Series. Oh my God, is that my cat or your cat? Where's my cat?
Keith's here.
I feel like there's no. I mean, there's always room for CM Punk in a WWE ring. In my opinion, I would love to see him back in that company. It's just there's a lot of potential Mania matches that we've already discussed that I feel like would work. And somebody's not going to be happy because Punk's going to come in and take their spot, essentially. Somebody's going to be happy. It's just it all comes down to who you don't mind pissing off for a little bit.
And again, he could come in and not. It doesn't have to be for any.
It doesn't. No, you're right. If he has like a year or 2 or 3 or fucking 5 in him, no, it doesn't have to be. He will get his Mania main event. It's just with the way Punk left WWE, and if he were to come back, I don't see how you don't put him in the main event. Just because he made it very public that was one of his very big gripes.
Yeah. But again, and we'll have all this now more theories, and I mean, again, we got Survivor Series in Chicago, so we'll build up and hear all the little stories about that. We'll start hearing all the little things about Rumble, and if nothing happens, we'll hear about maybe WrestleMania, and then they're like the 3.
Yeah, those are the 3 possibilities. I don't even consider Survivor Series that big of a possibility. I know, again, maybe they don't have a choice because the crowd will probably be very vocal, but then again, I hear that they weren't that bad at All In last week. All Out last week?
All out
last week.
All right, we'll get off the CM Punk page here. We'll talk about Raw for a second here. So they did this whole thing where Seth came out and he called out Nakamura, said, "You want a title shot? Like, let's go." And then like Nakamura is just like, "No," but then is willing to have a wrestling match with Ricochet.
Yeah, that legitimizes your title, huh? Nah, I don't want that. Nah.
So that was a little.
I don't even think people said that about the 24/7 title. Everybody wanted the 24/7 title.
Yeah, that's
Nakamura does not want the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, that's something that just I remember just being like, wow, we got to talk about that.
That was weird.
Also, I mean, they're starting, like they were sharing with, but the Viking Raiders, it seems like they're trying to push the Viking Raiders up to being an actual
threat,
viable threat for the tag title.
They need to. They don't have. I still feel like they have like convincing tag teams. I mean, not the ones that they just throw together. Let's talk about convincing. Although I did throw together a John Cena Cody Rhodes tag team in my 2K game. Just saying. They're SmackDown tag champs.
That's
no one will be.
I mean, you could like. It seems maybe they're going towards the like a Viking Raiders Judgment Day seems kind of weird, but Judgment Day is kind of aligning with the bloodline almost. Like,
yeah, I don't know what. I mean, was there anything teasing? Not to jump off from Raw real quick, but was there anything teasing like what they did on SmackDown last night? Because I don't know if I missed it or not.
No, just helping out. They helped out Jimmy Uso in the main event, and kind of just like stood and gave like a nod. And again, I don't even know what I was talking about this morning for a little bit. Like, I was all for everything they've made the decision with the bloodline so far, but I really think they were going to go the route of things that they were going to do in 2024 and just hit the button too soon on it. And now they're retracting and trying to push off. So I think that Uso thing doesn't happen till Uso versus Uso is probably going to be at Mania.
It's got to be a lock for Mania.
I just feel like they had to reroute everything now, so it's kind of interesting now, I guess is the nicest way to say it, with Jimmy now wanting to be back in the bloodline, but I don't know. It just seems like they kind of had to hit a reroute button, and they're trying to, like, I think they know it's going to be Roman and Cody. I know they're doing the Usos, but they're just trying now to tread water as much as they possibly can to get to starting that story, which I feel like you can't start telling until February. So interesting how that.
Maybe even the Rumble. I mean, they're on separate brands. They could be in the Rumble at the same time. Both Usos. Something happens.
Yeah. That's a way to do it. It looks like Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark have a match. Shayna Baszler wins, and it kind of looks like maybe we're eyeing up a tag team here potentially with Shayna and Zoe Stark. I'm all for it. She had Zoe Stark had the turn on Trish, which I think it worked. The hatred for Trish that everyone had in her little heel run, which was great. I feel like ended up them doing what they did with Zoe was perfect. So
agreed.
Interested to see where that goes now. I don't know. They get both considered kind of faces in that situation.
I don't know.
Raquel Rodriguez and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green getting a win.
Did she get the win?
Yeah.
Did she get help?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Raquel won. They put the wrong winner there. She got a rematch with Rhea next week, and Dominic is barred from ringside. So when has that ever meant anything?
Why bar one member of the Judgment Day and not all members?
All of them. Yeah, it's a good point. They were building up the main event, the IC title match, the entire night, going through all the IC champions before commercial break, showing little video packages, really hyping up this match, which even more made me think like, oh, Gunther's definitely retaining this.
Oh, see, I was thinking, nah, Chad Gable's got this.
Just because it's the Honky Tonk Man, I think they were ready for
a new face of the Intercontinental title.
They were at it, and Gunther is one.
How did we get to a point where this fucking guy was the longest reigning Intercontinental champion?
I know. I feel like people complain about wrestling a lot, but could you imagine having no offense, but could you imagine like having Honky Tonk Man as your IC champion for that long, and then just to lose it like as quickly as like Kofi lost it to like Brock, like that real quick, like not even a long
no
match.
Offense to Honky Tonk Man, like definitely like whatever, but like what else did he do in his career? Like, like come on, what do you do, Keith? You know what I'm saying? Like, if he doesn't have that Intercontinental title, did he even win any other titles? That's a genuine question. I don't know if he did or not. I have a computer. I can fact check this.
Oh, but just the fact that there was that, if that was our idea, there was just nobody else that they wanted to. But no, come on, there was people you could put Yeah, again, it just all seemed. I don't know. This could all line up to be Chad Gable could be the guy.
I would love Chad Gable to be the guy. I hope he is the next guy, honestly.
Because again, if Gunther is on Raw, he's got World Heavyweight Championship written all over him. He probably should be the one to take it off of Seth. And it's like, do you drop if he wins the Rumble? And again, I don't know what their ideas are on that, because I mean, there's a man that could win the Rumble also who just apparently signed like a 5-year extension. A couple other people are on the getting ready to sign some long-term deals too. But yeah, it seems like LA Knight getting that big push, and I don't know. Are they doing it right? They didn't put the U.S. title on him like that. He's got to
be in a big match at Mania. I feel like. I mean, you sign him to a 5-year deal. You hear that he's gonna be on SmackDown as their top baby face. I mean, I'm assuming a Roman match is inevitable, or at least if he has the title, it's inevitable. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do with the world title. I mean, I feel like it has to be Gunther's.
We had an interaction with LA Knight and Paul Heyman last night.
We did.
So that's the thing now at night. It's not just one. It's like he still has all these little.
You signed him 5 years. He's 40. He's going to be 45 by the end of that deal. Time is now to do it.
I mean, I think so far that they've been doing right by him. He's been on multiple segments. He's been doing great work. And again, he's working with the Miz, the Miz is fantastic. And
Miz is like your initiation to the upper card, I feel like.
And it was like that. I mean, like, it seemed like Ziggler had that role for a while. Come up to a program with Dolph, but the Miz is just he's a great worker. Keith, what are we doing? What are we rubbing our face up on the microphone and stuff? What are we doing here? You're being very distracting here. All right, so a couple things. So we talked about all the Punk stuff. I want to take a break just for a little bit, get away from it, but come right back because Ace Steel, they release him.
Oh, did they? Is that a thing?
The other day, he was released. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day. I don't know if it was Thursday. It might have been Thursday. But now, and then everyone was saying, like, he could have a wrongful termination But, yeah, Ace is folded.
Wow.
86 Ace.
He will not be in WWE.
We are steelless.
Damn.
That's all I got. Yeah, but they kind of just I was expected, but again, I believe there is a such thing as like a wrongful termination, so I don't know how that works out if you like bite people and punch dudes in the face. So I
mean, there's no room for that guy anyway. Talk about Tony Khan being a little bit of a bitch. I mean, he's still being a little bit of a bitch.
And we never really got a response from CM Punk about anything at all, which I'm only assuming as soon as we are done recording this, that's something.
Big, long Instagram post.
17-minute Instagram video comes out where he just.
Which is why me and Toph have agreed to stream live for the next 12 hours so we don't miss it.
Nonstop, because we know it's going to happen as soon as we're done. So. But yeah, we got
Buckle up, Buttercup.
LA Knight, big push, merchandise all over the WWE shop.
Yeah.
Go grab some t-shirts. Oh my God, and I can't get away from him one more time about him. Freddie Prinze Jr. had some comments about CM Punk on his podcast, and he basically, he said he wasn't a nice guy to me. He would just blow me off every time I walked by when I worked with WWE.
I think we know CM Punk and his attitude now. He probably would at that time look at Freddie Prinze Jr. I'm like, what the fuck do you know about the wrestling business? I get you were part of the team, but I mean, my guy, go back to looking for Scooby snacks. All right. I like Freddie. I'm not gonna lie. I like Freddie.
FPJ, come on. Married to SMG, get out of here.
Love SMG. Can't get enough SMG.
But yeah. Wow. Sophia, do you love SMG? Huh? Do you know what I know what you did this summer? And I mean, she wasn't in the sequel, unfortunately, but FPJ was definitely in the sequel. We showed up. They were in the Bahamas. Jack Black was in it.
Oh, I know what you did last summer. I thought you were talking about Scooby-Doo. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they were both in Scooby-Doo both times.
Oh, yeah. They definitely were. But they were both also in I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, that is true. Yes, they were in a lot of movies together.
Yeah, one of them wasn't, and I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
You did podcast?
No, I'm just,
Yeah.
Phone's on.
Yeah.
Live button. I can't believe you don't see that. Anyway.
We're going to talk about someone's been removed from the NXT roster.
Mommy.
He might have been drafted at some point here. Gable Stevenson. I mean, recently was Baron Corbin get rid of this guy? Did Baron Corbin get rid of him?
I don't know. I thought he wasn't drafted, was he? Because he was drafted the last time on Raw, but he was on NXT. Yeah, Baron Corbin might have gotten rid of somebody.
Wasn't like Odyssey Jones drafted to show as well, and we still don't know who Odyssey Jones is. Grayson Waller made a reference to him the other day when he was on the beach in Boston. It was yesterday, and don't get me started on how fantastic Grayson Waller is. But yeah, it seems, I don't know if he's going to be working in go for his like another NCAA title or whatever, but it seems like Gable Stevenson and NXT is no more.
Who needed him? He wasn't getting a good reaction. He already had bad rap.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there was again to.
If you want to bring him back, whatever, do it at another time.
I'm dad here.
She has warmed up to you, sir. She has seen you enough to where she is now in the basement talking.
Yeah, Sophia.
I'm like muted, but she asked if your daughter was there. So
she is not currently. She could show up any moment, but she is not. She's not here right now.
Okay, she's on my futon next to me.
Yeah,
disappointed now, crying.
That's what I usually bring to the kids: disappointment and sadness, telling them no.
Where's my daughter?
I'm stern.
Did you not just hear him?
Yeah. Just in one ear, out the other. It's right in front of me too. So LA Knight had a promo last night and just destroyed Kevin Nash.
Just obliterated Kevin Nash.
Subtly from
LA Knight on.
We're talking about LA Knight.
Yeah, Nash had a promo back in the day when he showed up on a show saying play and adjective, and LA Knight kind of turned that around and used it as a verb, referencing the Miz's theme song, I Came to Play. He said a moron would say that about an adjective, and he's like, but it was fantastic. You could see it all over social media. It was great. I think Botchamania tweeted out the clip, and right at the end was the Nash version when he did it on Nitro. But LA Knight, super over. I believe there's going to be a rematch with The Miz. I don't know if that's going to take place on Raw
next week.
So I don't know if we're going to stretch this out. I don't know if this is where we get the win back and then we have the blow off at Fastlane, which I kind of maybe see happening, or they're doing some kind of tag match or something, because it seems like they're matching up Waller and Austin Theory together.
I feel like that's a natural tag team too. I feel like those two together will be really good.
I saw that clip of Austin Theory doing like a Make-A-Wish, and I was just like, oh my God, I definitely see like this dude. I agree. I think that's what the post said too, like a baby face run. Again, I know again, has a Gable Steveson kind of background. But, and again, we've seen this man's butthole.
He made up for it with his butthole.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, after that butthole, I mean, I could see a big baby face run for Theory. I mean, Alvarez last week was ripping him, saying to change everything he's doing because we know Alvarez knows the deal. So, God, I can't mention. I was gonna go to one thing, but that's my jaBROni of the week, so I'm gonna hold on to that for a second. Did you get to see any of Dynamite at all? See the fallout from All Out?
What I tell you, I lasted an hour and a half, and then Swerve came out, right? All right, so I'm familiar with everything that happened, and then Swerve came out.
So, Orange Cassidy loses the International Championship. So we start off Dynamite with AR Fox getting a title shot. Now, I heard some stats on this. He's lost like 11 out of 12 of his matches so far in AEW, and he's had 8 title matches.
Wow.
So I don't understand why wouldn't Orange Cassidy have a rematch then at that point? Or
well,
why
because the AEW fans have always argued that people shouldn't get automatic rematches.
But why would a guy who won one out of 12 matches so far get a shot at this? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Lovable loser, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of what it is.
But we had Trent Beretta and Roderick Strong was one of the eliminator matches, and then Darby Allin versus Nick Wayne was another one. We had the Sex Gods take on Aussie Open and Statlander versus Emi Sakura. So Moxley wins, retains, obviously. We had Christian out there talking to Nick Wayne, told him to say hello to his mother for him, which is great. Christian Cage is fantastic. Even at the press conference last week, sat down, first thing he said, he asked how everyone's fathers were doing. When asked about Edge potentially joining him in AEW, he has no friends except Luchasaurus. So he's fantastic. It's fantastic. He's one of the best things about this company. He signed just a new deal, apparently.
Christian did?
Yes. And he says they opened the bank for him, Tony Khan did, and he deserves every single dollar. And you know what? He does.
You're right.
Give them all.
Yeah.
Sign
more Christians. Sign more Christians.
So Roderick Strong won his eliminator match. And Darby Allin won his eliminator match. The Sex Gods win. There's a little pushing and shoving. But it's about, and then there was a whole there was a segment with MJF and Samoa Joe because they did the whole recreating the NXT where MJF was playing like an NXT security guard and he's walking down the hallway and walks a little bit in front of Samoa Joe. Joe pushes him back. This happened at All Out when Joe was coming up the ramp after the match. MJF was coming out and he did the push. So it looks like we're doing and I believe Samoa Joe might be in this tournament. So is that what we're doing? Like, since
what do you mean might be? Shouldn't that bracket already be like finalized?
I think he's in it. I'm just thinking that if they're already kind of teasing, that's what's going on. Like when we just obviously win this tournament. And
tonight, Samoa Joe faces Penta El Cesaro Miedo in a Grand Slam Eliminator semifinal.
So is somehow going to come down to like Samoa Joe versus like Roddy or something like that. I don't know. How far away are we till this Grand Slam?
Grand Slam. It's definitely in September. Grand Slam.
Then we're gonna have Wrestle Dream. I
It
believe
will be. I don't know. Wednesday, September 20th.
So we're like a week this Wednesday. It's going down.
That is correct. A week on Wednesday.
So I guess technically. So their next thing is going to be that Wrestle Dream show with, I believe, New Japan.
Oh,
it was announced at the press conference. It seems like they're going to be having a couple more premium live events.
I wonder how good those are. Like how well they do.
Well, after coming back from All Out,
sure had a lot of them.
The crowds recently, since they've been back in the States, have not been flattering, but we're not here to judge. We'll run through SmackDown real quick, and then do a little jaBROni of the week, wrap it up. But on SmackDown, I'm not going to lie, I started it off live, and I believe Charlotte came out, so no offense. I decided I would maybe watch SmackDown a little bit later in the evening. I believe the Phillies were playing the Marlins at the time. I just was watching other things.
Sure.
Skip some commercials and stuff. So it was like Charlotte and Shotzi versus Damage Control, and Charlotte and Shotzi win. Jimmy Uso, we have some stuff going on with him wanting to be back in the bloodline, and we had the LA Knight with promo, which was the best thing of the show.
How do you think Kevin's going to react to that? How do you think Triple H reacts to that? Do you think he signed his 5-year deal and was just like, I'm going to say this?
Direction, yeah, but he knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of it. I mean, hey, Kevin Nash showed up against Punk randomly. They did something. What makes it think that this doesn't? I mean, hey, let's bring. It's money. Bring Kevin Nash in for something, not to wrestle or anything, but just like to get some real life antics, a little couple promos or something, and then Knight wrestles somebody who's the muscle for Kevin Nash. And you build up a little bit, kill some time in the wintertime. It's not a bad idea. But we had an LA Knight Theory match, and LA Knight gets the win over Theory after not winning just a few weeks ago in that for a shot at the U.S. title. So they were trying.
Dana's first appearance on the show, everybody.
Yeah. Get out of here. That's not true.
Yeah, it was. I got you. Yeah, I got you right now. There it is. There he is. All right.
And we also we were teasing all these factions to break up. We're doing it to another one now. We're doing it to the OC. There's some tension backstage with AJ Styles and the Good Brothers, Michin. It looks like we're building towards a AJ Styles Roman Reigns match, but we got to see if they're all going to be on the same page now, because it looked like
that makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. It's like, what do you do with the Good Brothers after that? You obviously you don't have major plans for them. So, like, what do you do? And it's a shame, because I really think they're a good team. I feel like they could have a run with titles. I don't know.
And again, with having them unified, if we're getting split tag titles, maybe.
I don't know if we are. I feel like that would have happened by now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be. I don't know if there's enough tag teams.
Right. I was just talking about how they need more teams. I don't think they're going to be split.
But yeah, there's some the Street Profits come out again with Bobby Lashley. Had a stare down with Judgment Day. So again, building more intrigue. I don't know when we finally get the official debut of whatever they're going to be called. There's no name.
I thought they would have had a name said yesterday, but just the way Bobby was cutting that promo, I thought he would have named them something.
Or an entrance together yet, or I don't know. And then when do you do it? Maybe it's a Survivor Series could be very interesting this year with all of these factions. But then again, you don't want to overdo it. So usually you have like I don't know if they stick to like a men's and a women's, but I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why we're getting like a Bloodline and Judgment Day, like lining up with each other because certain members aren't in the Bloodline anymore. So we fill out numbers potentially for a Survivor Series team with like Solo, Roman. I mean, but yeah, Solo, Roman, and then you got Finn, Damian, and Dominic. That's your 5 right there. I don't know. Again, I don't know what route they're going, but that's just an idea with the way that they're. And then maybe they go against, who do they go against? Maybe they go against Lashley, the Street Profits, and 2 more people if they're slowly building their faction. Again, all fantasy booking here. No idea if that's even the route they're going to be taking, but yeah, Jimmy Uso beats AJ Styles. Priest threw Styles in the ring for Solo to give the Samoan spike after the match. I mean, AJ Styles won the match. I'm sorry. That happened after the match. AJ hit the phenomenal forearm, gets the win. Judgment Day throws in Styles. Priest, and then Solo gave him the spike. So Styles gets the win, the momentum.
I appreciate that. I was really afraid they were going to have Jimmy beat AJ. I just feel like AJ is losing way too much.
Yeah, it needed to happen if we're going to be having a Roman AJ match, we can't just be having them not be winning these things here.
Right.
For whenever he decides to show back up, because they were in Boston for SmackDown, but Cena was in India for their little spectacle they had, so we didn't get Cena in Boston, but
now he's back for like every week now, right?
We got this ride through September. We might miss a week or so, but like through September and October, for the most part, he's back. I'm assuming that they're probably going to have a match for him at Fastlane. It just really depends on what they want to do. If it's going to be Cena and somebody versus like a Waller in Theory.
I wonder if like this contract, well, I mean, I don't know if it's even a contract. I'm assuming you have him sign something to appear these next 2 months. I wonder if it's like a conditional thing where like, hey, we'll book you for these 2 months. If the strike's over, you can go. How about if the strike's not over, how about we sign you for longer? And we just keep going like that until we figure out this strike business.
Because, yeah, the way they're except the hosting of Payback, if they just did the whole saying he was going to be a special guest referee, because that made it a little awkward. But the way they used him so far, I think would work out like way better.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. I'll see. It's weird because he's so I saw like a TikTok thing with him, like with the refs in the back, like backstage. I guess the night of Payback, and they're all telling him like different things. And then he did the whole he interviewed Judgment Day after they won, and he made himself shorter and spread his legs out to be shorter than everybody. It seems like he's having fun.
Yeah.
So if you can just keep him around he's not doing any stress or taking bumps, but have him just involved in the show, not wrestling, and maybe get him for like a tag match at Fastlane where if he's filming or anything right now, he can work a match and he's completely kind of, like Daniel Bryan did with Ricky Starks. He was kind of still fucked up apparently, and he said he gave the credit to Starks, saying he carried me through that match. And I guess you wouldn't really even have been able to notice it if it wasn't for, but I'm sure he's in the middle of filming something, and I'm sure he doesn't want to risk any, where again, if this deal ends, this strike ends, and he has to go back to filming, he can't have a fucked up pelvis or a fractured penis or something like that. Oh, God. I just went on like a John Cena diatribe for like
love it
4 minutes. Anything else before we get into a little jabroni of the week?
Oh, I don't think so, except I need a jabroni of the week.
Well, you have 14. Well, I'll go first too. So you have like at least like a minute and 14 seconds to think about it. Let's go.
Johnny Cena went to town riding on a pony. Rock stuck a feather up his ass and called him a jabroni.
All right, jabroni of the week. And I too was like you several minutes before we started recording. Like, wow, who's going to be my jabroni of the week? It's like a main staple of the show. And every week I want it to be like Kim Kardashian or something like that, or some piece of shit. But this one was pretty easy for me. So the whole Fox deal and everything's coming to an end. So a lot of like ties are being cut. Fox related products with WWE are ending. One of those things ending is a show called Out of Character, hosted by Ryan Satin, who is a known WWE shill, like you and I for the most part.
Please.
So he was out. So it seemed like the news was coming that he was that his show was ending. So he started like, I didn't follow him, but I would just see through other people's tweets or whatever that he was a huge defender of WWE. He would never say anything negative about the company because he worked technically for the company and would interview talent. So he tweeted out, when the Indies have an invisible man in a match, this is killing the business. When the Miz wrestles an invisible wrestler on Raw, this is gold. So all of a sudden he's taking shots at WWE. We're like, hold on a second, what's going on here? And then all these people are coming out saying that they're now unblocked because he blocked all these people. If any time you would have any kind of words with him on Twitter, he would just block you. So now all of a sudden people are saying like, oh, I'm unblocked. All of these people that he had and again, it was just reminded of all the people that you shit on your way up there. Look what happens to you. And then when you come all the way back down, all those people that you blocked because you couldn't just have a conversation with, it's going to be rough out there all of a sudden when you're touting AEW now and saying how much you love Take a Shitta, and you're going to be praising fucking Grand Slam and tournaments a lot after not mentioning it at all. So it's funny to see some of those little weasels having to take back all of their nonsense to be in the good graces again. Oh, I unblocked you. We're friends now. Again, I have no interaction with this dude. He's a fucking jabroni. And he's not as much of a loser, I get. No, he's as much of a loser as Sean Ross Sapp, but I wonder if he does as much coke. But regardless, Ryan Satin is my jabroni of the week.
I better not see that Fox robot wearing AEW colors.
He should take his job. Hire the Fox robot. The greatest thing about that network, and he's been missing for like 5 years. since that draft the one time. He was in the draft room the one time. Fox Robot. He's fucking gone. Fox is jabroni of the week too.
All right. Well, much like a college student reaching the midnight deadline to turn in a paper, I have reached the deadline to find a jabroni of the week that quick.
Tight shirt. Just
Thanks.
noticed that.
Appreciate that. You know, got to rep old school. So NFL started this week. Congratulations, everybody, for making it through another off season. We had a game on Thursday.
We did.
Chiefs, Lions. Lions with the upset, 21-20. I don't normally, so dating back for a while now, these primetime games, they don't have the best play-by-plays. The announcers, you know, you're always wondering, like, or hoping for new ones. You know, you had a really good thing going with Al and Chris for a little bit, but even Chris was just like, you know, you always see memes about Chris sucking whoever the most popular player is sucking their cock, you know.
He loves Patrick Mahomes.
He loves Patrick Mahomes, or he loves Dak Prescott, or he loves Tom Brady. You know, like, you know,
the slide. That's it. That's all we care about.
You know, I don't think anyone's ever said a bad thing about Al Michaels. Trey Wingo, Troy Aikman, after 1 year on Monday Night Football, I didn't hate them as much. And that's probably because I wasn't, you know, probably listening to them as much. Because, you know, Monday Night Football, I feel like, I don't know the numbers, but I feel like more people obviously watch Sunday football than Monday football. So I didn't mind Trey or Troy. And then, you know, you had fucking Theismann and Tirico and the other guy from PTI. You had Dennis Miller in the booth for Monday Night Football at one point.
Go back.
You know, John Gruden even was in there. And John Gruden and I think it was Tirico maybe. They had a good thing going. But let's talk about
pre-racist Gruden. Yeah. Good times.
But there's been a name mentioned here a lot, and it was Mike Tirico. Mike Tirico. He is my jabroni of the week this week. So, you know, Lions. That's the Lions beating the Chiefs. It's probably their biggest win for a team that hasn't even made the Super Bowl. I would say it's their biggest win of their franchise.
Was this a comment he made at the end of the game?
It sure was a comment that he made.
I remember reading about this. Okay.
So this is probably, maybe I'll say arguably for the sake of argument, but I don't know. This is their biggest win, for argument's sake, or arguably their biggest win in franchise history, beating the defending Super Bowl champions on banner drop night. They didn't have Jason Kelce. He was injured. They didn't have Chris Jones. Contract shit situation. Even though he was like watching I don't know what they're doing there. That's confusing to me. You can watch us play. You can't fucking put pen to paper and like help out. You know. Anyway, so those two weren't playing. Those two players, two. 53-man roster. Still got 51 of them. Probably like 46 of them after like inactives and stuff. At the end of the game, Mike Tirico says that the win the Lions just had has an asterisk because of the Chiefs missing Travis Kelce or Chris Jones. Here's the issue with that, sir. Every year, you got players on injured reserve. We're not putting asterisks on those games. Travis Kelce might miss game 2. Doubt it, but he might. Chris Jones probably is going to miss a couple. Let's forget about the fact that Andy Reid, with 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning, went for it on his own 30 on a 4th and 25. So the man basically had 4 timeouts, down by a single possession, not even, and he decided to go for it on 4th and 25 from his own 30.
Yeah, that was and again, someone maybe with a 4.5 spread. I still thought that was all right. What are we doing here?
So let's ignore that, and let's just say Lions beat the Chiefs. That's an asterisk. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about your precious Patrick Mahomes there, Tarico. 2019, Philadelphia Eagles season. Carson Wentz, a shell of himself. Not the same Carson Wentz from 2017. Do you know who his top receiver was that year? Do you know?
His last year with the Eagles?
2019. I don't know if that was his last year with the Eagles. You don't know. You know why you don't know? You don't know why you don't know? Because he was throwing to Dick. He was throwing to people like Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward.
Yeah, dude's awesome.
Like, that's it. And you know what he did that year? Won a division, threw for 4,000 yards, and didn't have one 1,000-yard receiver. So I don't want to hear this BS about Patrick Mahomes not having anyone to throw to. Kadarius Toney talked all that shit to Giants fans, and I'm not, I'm an Eagles fan through and through. I don't fucking fuck with the Giants. But that man talked all that shit to that Giants fan base about how he's in such a better place. My man can't catch a fucking cold, let alone a football on Thursday.
Oh my God, 3rd down drop for this team.
He gets shit. He gets shit from all those Giants fans, and what's he do? Deactivates his Twitter.
I saw that. Football is a team game. So, I mean, Patrick Mahomes did everything in that game for the Chiefs to win that game. I guess at a certain point on 3rd and short, it wasn't even, I guess, if I was him, I'm just hiking and running. I'm not even throwing the ball to get 2 yards and throwing it to one of these guys. But again, we also just act like a ball has never been thrown to Travis Kelce ever and deflected off his hands and been intercepted. Like, it does happen. It was one of those games or whatever. But what, are we going to keep doing this? Are we going to throw asterisks for if they start out 0-2 or 0-3 because maybe Kelce's not there? What are we doing here?
So yeah, you don't give asterisks to the games that Carson Wentz loses. You probably won't even give an asterisk to Carson Wentz's whole career just because it hasn't panned out that great. But here we are trying to put an asterisk on the Detroit Lions' biggest win of their history. Something don't add up, you cock-sucking motherfucker.
Get them.
With that being said, this almost turned into a Chiefs rant.
I was going to
I'm really glad it didn't, because I'm trying to
Chiefs in there too, though.
I'm trying to focus on one guy. No, the Chiefs were just doing their job last year. I understand.
And there was a lot of stuff online about them getting away with false starts.
Yes, I see that, but I also see a lot of I saw a lot of video of very slowed down of that dude. And there's some of them where he was going right with the ball, and that was impressive. If anything, you don't do that. You fucking guess. It was that perfect.
That would have been more of a story if they won the game, but they didn't. So we're trying. Right. I mean, KC Gate here. They're cheating somehow. Obviously, they're going to start cheating, and we hate Kansas City as much as we hate.
They're just doing their job, winning the Super Bowl. That's what they're doing.
See, this is last minute jaBROni of the week. Look at this, fantastic.
Yeah. Now I have a lot to say about Mike Tirico.
Fuck you.
But yeah, fuck you, Mike Tirico. This is the biggest win in Detroit Lion history. You know what? I'll defend Detroit all the way. As long as it has nothing to do with the Eagles, I'll defend Detroit all the way. I want to see them succeed. I like fucking Ryan Gosling. I like anybody who looks like fucking Ryan Gosling.
You know
and
what,
they gave
Ryan,
us DeAndre Swift for next to nothing. I like that too.
And
So
Ryan Satin is a
Johnny Cena went to town riding on a pony. Rock stuck a feather up his ass and called him a jabroni.
All right, so we are gonna wrap this up here. You guys can go find all episodes of jaBROnis on YouTube, the jaBROnis Pod, on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you're calling it, jaBROnis Pod, Twitch, jaBROnis Pod, Spotify. Go find us. You can follow me on the X gimmick. I'm Happy Jabroni.
I am a Philly Jabroni 1. Sorry, I'm still fucking heated.
That's fine. Justified. All right. Back next week talking about more drama, probably assuming CM Punk, because why not? That's like one of the things each week. Maybe Freddie Prinze Jr. will confront him and we'll have some great drama. If not, everybody enjoy week 1 of NFL and go Birds.
Go Birds!
Bronies.
Jabroni, JABRONI, XYZ, ABC. Oh, it doesn't matter how you spell jabroni.
We don't believe you, jaBROni.